勇者の石石この時を待って4いや5000年
Hey people, Borobo here. Certainly everyone in the gaming community has heard about Fallout New Vegas at least once. But if you haven't, it's a story about your typical neighborhood mailman who has to deliver some trinket to an old man on life support, gets a bullet to his temple, takes the assailant, and then changes the Mojave forever. It is arguably the best of the Bethesda-owned series, since it wasn't actually developed by Bethesda, the masterminds behind Skyrim Premium Edition,
Legendary
Skyrim
Edition,
Special Edition,
Skyrim Switch Edition,
Skyrim VR.
and while Todd Howard is busy making Fallout 76,
4 times the size, 16 times the detail.
all Fallout connoisseurs have to turn to mods. And while you're more likely to succumb to mods of questionable nature, you can still make New Vegas great again in a couple of clicks. You can achieve that premium Fallout feel with a few different categories of mods: visual, gameplay, fixes, quality of life, new content, and story mods. Most categories are intertwined, so it's more of a nominal division. Visual, gameplay, quality of life mods make the game more up-to-date, or more appealing to the modern public, while fixes meant Bethesda's peculiar choices and patch many bugs, hypothetically, after allegedly the quality assurance for the game wasn't done properly. If you're new to modding, I advise you to download Mod Organizer, Fallout Mod Manager, or Nexus Vortex to easily navigate through and modify your mod list, making your life much simpler in the long run. When you have everything set, you should start by installing New Vegas Script Extender, and then major go-to fixes and plugins. Yet before we set out to make New Vegas cool again, we have to make sure that it actually works. Like any other big title, Fallout New Vegas has got content, broken features, and unfulfilled potential. So to rectify most of that, you can just add
Someguy Unofficial Patch.
Yep, for short. Unofficial Patch Plus with addendum, and with it being a complete package, you'll have an almost bug-free game in the end. Install Mojave Arsenal to fix some naming schemes and loot distribution, and mods that fix collision meshes to make 3D models behave more naturally throughout the game world. Don't forget to install an autosave manager so that the save system designed by the venerable Bethesda won't brick your save file which you've sunk hours and hours into. Since New Vegas is a modified version of Fallout 3, it hasn't aged well. We take too many things for granted nowadays, like user interface that shows everything the user needs, trading without clicking the same dialogue option for every character.
Let's peep this out.
Sprinting. But there are far less excruciatingly obvious details that are still pretty uncomfortable. For example, fighting the urge to wipe Dorito crumbs off your eyes might become just a little bit tiring. People of the Mojave look like they've been applying skincare products since the bombs dropped.
Covered, cheap, and filling.
Effects and textures look as if they are a whole decade old. The Mojave looks a little too dead and too dark for your liking. Although New Vegas is still a solid first-person RPG and very much playable, after a steamy game of Fortnite you won't find the game either enjoyable or entertaining. So the main mods to turn your New Vegas into a cooler New Vegas are J Sawyer, a mod originally made by the project director of Fallout New Vegas and then re-implemented by a fan, staying true to the original, and it is just like Enhanced Edition, though a lighter overhaul mod. Alongside various gameplay and item changes, it adds expired stim packs, which are like Mercy after a couple of nerfs. Shit. Rosen's classic overhaul. It introduces a number of new perks and traits, rebalances vanilla ones, tweaks stats, damage formulae, and followers. And more traits and more perks both do something absolutely mysterious. But that's not what you came here for. Of course you want your New Vegas to play like your PUBGs, your GTAs, your Battlefields. Therefore, the meat of the premium Fallout experience consists of GIP plugin, Solid Project, Bleed, enhanced camera, more realistic aiming, realistic movement, reload reloaded, VATS alternative, combat enhancer, and the OO commando redone. What they do is add locational damage threshold so body armor doesn't protect your head, fix melee and add proper crosshairs in sprint, fix how damage is applied, fix first person camera so you can see yourself, make aiming, movement and reloading more realistic, turn VATS into something remotely interesting to use,
The world! 時を止まれ !1 秒経過 !2 秒経過 !3 秒経過
make enemies' AI more intelligent than artificial, and make shotguns act like actual shotguns instead of nerfed weaponry. Talking about gunplay, we don't usually pay much attention to the effect of animations on how a weapon feels and controls. Vanilla animations might look a bit too stiff and quite unfitting at this point. What you should do is install Azura Reanimation Pack and sprinkle it with all weapon sounds overhaul to maximize the changes the previously mentioned mods bring.
All of this just works.
Fallout and the Elder Scrolls games abound in content, so why would anyone want to install more? Yet as usual, it's not the content you'd enjoy, or even have.
Fuck yeah, we put a battle royale in Fallout 76.
So it's good to install some content you actually want once in a while. You can pick from mods that make your life in the Mojave better, or mods that extend your playtime by adding quests, enemies, and locations filled with quests and enemies. Mobile Truck belongs to the former category since it's your personal movable base of operation, where you can eat, drink, sleep, shit, craft, sort, and store your stuff. But if you think that a personal truck is a bit too much for the Mojave, you can opt for the Courier's Cache, and after a couple of simple quests get your own stationary hideout north of the Strip. If such radical new additions to the experience aren't up your street, you can't say no to either a bunch of new weapons, a refreshed repertoire on the radio, or a couple of new followers like Ulysses from Lonesome Road.
Package, Courier, Divide.
Or Joshua Graham from Honest Arts.
The time for talk is past. The Lord's work must be done.
A World of Pain belongs to the latter category, adding rape dungeons with rape monsters and ass goblins to the Mojave, with the consolation prize being various MK2 weapons and armors.
Story.
If you're hungry for more Mojave adventures and seek new experiences and sensations even after you've seen everything the Wasteland has to offer, you might want to pick up something like Autumn Leaves, Beyond Boulder Dome, or even New California. But I'd like to show you something a little bit different.
Unloaded like a true ranger, all over his blue sleeping bag.
The Someguy Series is a set of mods about killing people in the forms of headhunting, revenge, mercy killing, murder, execution, assassination, or even manslaughter, you name it, thoughtfully designed for all well-adjusted individuals with a highly complex plot design meant to offer the most possible immersion for the player. The story of the series can be easily summarized as: the journey begins as a humble courier intrigued by a note in the Prospectus Saloon steps into a shack near Prim to earn some extra caps. Yet little did the courier know that the only reward he ever wanted was the genius writing, littered with remarks ranging from banal
"fuck you shit kicker"
to highly offensive.
Someone putting a 12 gauge up your ass and pulling the trigger, now that's offensive.
And countless pop culture references. Tony Idaho, Fred, all of the references, all two of them. Also, the mod is meant to be played alongside the main quest, so running through the bounties back to back and seeing Stephen Randall every 15 minutes isn't as enjoyable.
Kidnapping cannibal, you say? Shit.
As we progress, we're given the choice to either kill or side with a certain character who's
real kind of scary, crazy, tall man, very strange around young boys.
Sits in a dark room and thus barely visible. Depending on our choice, we either get to continue on to New Vegas Bandits 2, or have a jolly good time with the non-canon spin-off, New Vegas Killer, which provides you with the opportunity to kill the lazy fat ass
Jorge Martin.
and his 3 dogs, James, Jonathan, and Tyrone, for not finishing his new book, execute a whole family of defectors, and listen to even more genius dialogue.
Hobos. He was all about that shotgun. He always talked about that shotgun. He slept with that shotgun. I think he fucked that shotgun.
New Vegas Bounties 2 starts on yet another rundown shack that the NCR calls a jail for some reason. The story is no longer the linear Randall, bad person, dead person, Randall happy cycle. And now you have to collect bounty posters near different public locales, also allowing you to pursue different bounties at the same time, yet only one contract is actually vital to finishing the main questline of the mod. The narration takes a more serious, more professional tone, but you can still find various gems like
"They stashed the gold up your mother's cunt."
With Bounties 2 being so grand and suspenseful, you'd want to rush to Bounties 3 to know what's next.
First of all, no.
The thing you want to do is jump into a different quest mod that takes place right after Bounties 2, but is not directly connected to it. The Inheritance tells the story of another old man on life support who wants you to deliver spam mail. Son, my long-lost son, I know you harbor
resentment for my actions. Fuck you.
I am very rich and I give all the riches to you. Give me your credit card details and go find the riches in the wasteland. Your loving Pops. And after a series of unfortunate events,
Fuck you!
you meet Zimmer and put the time you spent studying the blade to good use. Or you can simply pass a speech check and tell him to leave.
Sayonara, Courier.
Both options further triggering a couple of branching side quests after the ending.
Excuse me, mister, but I've got a delivery for you.
And now, the conclusion of the saga about a courier turned bounty hunter. Boasting a whole new world space full of enemies and exciting activities. Mass executions and child murder.
Kids taken from the 80s in the adjacent room.
A whole world filled with dread, hope, betrayal and revenge. And other dramatic words. And last but not least, 2 of the most annoying.
I won't walk in your shoes, you've gone soft. At least I'm a real killer.
And pretentious character archetypes you could encounter in your entire life.
Look at the top of his head!
After you're done with the snowy hills of Utah, you can proceed to the final quest in the Someguy Series, the Better Angels. The point of it is to wrap everything up, give the players some kind of closure, a sense of finality. The mod also provides much more room for roleplay, with choices based on how you have played the game and developed your character.
On the other hand, we have a derelict sentry bot that might be put back into action if you have the skill to...
Despite being not the longest mod, the Better Angels still provides a fair share of battles, varying from enjoyable to sodomizing. However, the final battle is so gourmet that you actually get the option to skip it altogether.
Huh? Fucking hell.
And it wouldn't be a Someguy 2000 mod if we didn't get a portion of genius writing.
Mother was fucked. He's a cunt. He fights well, but he's mainly a cunt.
Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Special thanks to Reapers for making this review possible, and thanks to Julius Yale for the art. My never-ending gratitude towards all the good and great people for funding the videos and my irresponsible lifestyle. Goodbye.